Xi Jinping is a man on a mission. The year 2022 was supposed to be a landmark year for him, the year that will put him on the same pedestal as Mao Zedong, the founder of modern-day China. 2022 was supposed to be all about Xi breaking the precedent and locking up a record-breaking third term as president. But it hasn't gone according to plan. An out-of-control pandemic, and of course the chaos of zero COVID, an imploding real estate sector, and a stumbling economy. They have all ruined Xi Jinping's big party. The Chinese president needs a new narrative now. So he is making a comeback on the world stage. Today, he kicked off a diplomatic tour. His first one since the pandemic began in 2020. The idea is to build momentum for next month when Xi will be confirmed as president for another 5-year term. Before that happens, the Chinese president is trying to reassert his influence and present himself as a leader of an anti-Western alliance. So what is his pitch? Let's tell you about the specifics now. Xi Jinping has chosen Central Asia to resume his overseas engagements. He is visiting 2 countries in particular, Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. He arrived in Kazakhstan today. This is his first stop and an important one for Xi Jinping. In 2013, the Chinese president had launched the Belt and Road Initiative in Kazakhstan. This initiative, or the BRI, is his signature infrastructure plan. And Kazakhstan is an important transit hub for China. It is also a supplier of minerals, metals and energy. There is a security dimension to this relationship too. Kazakhstan shares a border with Xinjiang, and this is the province where China is accused of carrying out a genocide against the Uyghurs. Xi Jinping's second stop is, of course, Uzbekistan. He will be attending the annual SCO summit, an event that will be attended by India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with Russian President Vladimir Putin. So that's the agenda of Xi Jinping. The Chinese president landed in Kazakhstan today, but he set the tone before his arrival. Xi Jinping wrote a piece for a leading Kazakh newspaper. He spelled out what he wants to get out of this trip. And here's the article that I'm talking about now. It is headlined, "Build on the path to make greater strides in China-Kazakhstan relations." But this piece is not just about China and Kazakhstan. It goes beyond that. In this article, Xi Jinping is talking about the need to change the global order. Allow me to quote, "We need to enhance coordination within multilateral frameworks such as the UN, the SCO, the CICA and the China plus Central Asia. We should reject unilateralism and bloc confrontation and jointly push for an international order that is more just and more equitable." That's the message of Xi Jinping. The Chinese president has 2 clear objectives here. Number 1, he wants more influence on existing global institutions. And number 2, promote groupings where China dictates the terms. Both of these goals are impossible to achieve without the active support of allies, and that's why Xi Jinping is making an outreach to Central Asia. And the Chinese president is not traveling empty-handed. In Kazakhstan, he came bearing gifts. A series of bilateral agreements were announced. Both sides are deepening their economic and security ties, and needless to say, these agreements also reassert China's influence on Kazakhstan. Honestly, this has become quite obvious now. Take a look at this. Xi Jinping was given an award today, the Order of the Golden Eagle. It is the highest honor that the president of Kazakhstan can confer on anyone. And that's the kind of clout that Xi enjoys in Kazakhstan. Tomorrow, he will try to extend that very influence during the SCO summit. The Chinese leader is expected to make the same pitch in Uzbekistan and present the SCO as an alternative to Western alliances. Russia has already endorsed China's position. Ahead of the summit, the Kremlin's foreign policy advisor spoke out. His name is Yuri Ushakov, and here is what he said. The SCO offers a real alternative to Western-centric organizations. All members of the SCO stand for just world order. A similar message is also expected to come out of the Xi-Putin bilateral. The 2 leaders are likely to meet on the sidelines of the SCO summit, and this will be their first face-to-face interaction after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. They have met once before in February, and this was just before Russia began its offensive. Back then, Putin and Xi had declared a no-limits partnership. A polar side in Samarkand will reaffirm China's support for Russia. There is speculation about another bilateral, a one-on-one between Xi Jinping and India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The two leaders haven't met since 2019. The reason for that is obvious: China's continued provocations at the border. But Indian and Chinese forces have recently disengaged from a flashpoint in eastern Ladakh. But will that enable a meeting on the sidelines? New Delhi hasn't sent out any signals. China, too, isn't saying much about Xi Jinping's potential engagements at the SCO.
The diplomacy of the head of state is an important political guarantee for the stability and long-term development of Sino-Russia relations. For a long time, the heads of state of China and Russia have maintained close exchanges and strategic communication through various means, leading the bilateral relations to always maintain the correct development direction. Regarding the specific issue you mentioned, I currently have no information to release. If there is relevant information, we will release it in a timely manner.
The plot thickens. Xi Jinping is guaranteed a third term, but he clearly doesn't want to leave anything to chance. With the SCO summit and the outreach to Central Asia, the Chinese president is hoping to resume in-person diplomacy and step up China's engagement with the world. But problems back home could derail all his efforts. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.